Hey, how you doing, my friends? And of course, I brought to you a review of a film which I now own in my collection. I just finished going through the features of it and listening to the very funny commentary, which I'm thankful they carried over from the Region 2 release of the film. John Carpenter's classic, They Live. And once again, acne has bit his ugly head on my fucking lips. And shit. So what I'm gonna do is make the mood a little more better here. I'll be grossing people out, my bad skin, and I guess be like this a little bit, which looks more better to me. I do display the cover a little bit more better in the light. But I don't know when the hell this will be uploaded. If I'm gonna upload this on its own, as an interview on its own, as a review on its own, or connect it with Friday Night 80s. I don't know. Or maybe just do a random review of this and talk about DVD as well. This is from Shout Factory, and unlike the one Universal released a long time ago, this has some features on it. Like, it has a very, very funny audio commentary with John Carpenter and Roddy Piper himself, which I believe was a commentary that was from that Region 2 DVD they did way back in the early millennium, because the stuff they talk about, I remember hearing a little bit about, like the whole thing how Roddy Piper had a stalker. He talks about him, John Carpenter. They have a great back and forth, because Roddy is a big fan of John Carpenter's work, and John Carpenter is a big wrestling fan. He's a fan of Roddy Piper. So they talk about each other a lot, give each other a lot of props. That was a lot of fun. You have a feature in here called Man vs. Aliens, a very good 10-minute interview with one of the stars of this film, Mr. Keith David. You guys remember him from, he had worked with Carpenter before on on The Thing. And a little bit after The Thing, he had a very good, funny story, because I found it very strange. They didn't get him for Terror Takes Shape, that documentary for they did for The Thing way back when. They didn't catch him for an interview. So it was nice that he talks about it here. And it's a little funny story. He talks about how, he went on opening day to go see it and everything like that, how he wore the Thing jacket and stuff. And funny story how the guy told him, you must be a fan of The Thing, right? He goes, yeah, I was in that movie. The guy goes, yeah, right? What are you talking about? The boy? The way he said it is funny. Keith David, that guy, love to hear more stuff from him. Little 5-minute, or maybe it feels less than that, interview with Meg Foster. Meg Foster, who go on to be, who's Evelyn in Master of the Universe, and she would be in Stepfather Part 2. She would also be in, of course, as Marty and as Martha and Leviathan. Beck, you made it. How do you feel? That's girl with the crazy eyes, Mac calls her and stuff. And they have interviews with her. She's like a real down to earth gal. They have a little interview with John Carpenter, which is very short. It's like maybe less than 5 minutes than that. Really nothing much, which I'm a little disappointed in. Also, you got a little making of They Live, which they have interviews with the director of photography and Jeff Amata, the stunt coordinator, who I think John Carpenter got him started in the business, you could say, because he's done a lot of the stunt coordinating, a lot of John Carpenter's movies. Started way back when with Big Trouble in Little China, and he used them in They Live and many other films and stuff. Jeff Amata, of course, you guys might recognize the name, because he was one of the stunt coordinators who worked with Brandon Lee. They helped him do the fight choreography for Rapid Fire and The Crow as well. Jeff Amata has a very funny backstory about working with this film. Talks very good things about it. He did play all the ghouls, even the female ones. All the ones that were in makeup were all Jeff Amata, and he has a very funny backstory behind that. But what's sad about this is that they have no new interviews with Roddy Piper, which that's sad. Really, I don't know why they couldn't get him. And I did hear that's very fucked up. At one point, they advertised that you pre-ordered it, which I did. I pre-ordered this movie, and And I believe it was the time I was on vacation. I think toward the last week of September. I pre-ordered this with Halloween 2. Halloween 2 I got in the mail during that week. And this came in because it just came out. I think this just came out on Tuesday. So I guess they I think this place is located where Shout Factory is at, in Indiana, Indianapolis or whatever. So I guess it came here quicker. So this came through the mail today. And they said if you pre-order it, they give you a free fucking poster, which I did not fucking get. And I'm pissed about that. I got Halloween 2. They gave me a nurse hat. I didn't want the nurse hat. I'd rather have a poster of Halloween 2 or a poster of this. They didn't do it, so fuck you. So fuck them for doing that. Fuck them in the ass with no lube. Really. And then the whole thing, I heard also that they had planned to do a Q&A with Meg Foster, Roddy Piper, and I think Keith David. The three of them together in one room was a Q&A, so they real fun stuff. For some reason or another, they didn't put it on the DVD. I hope, Bonnie, that they didn't get stupid and say, we can put that on the Blu-ray. Don't do that. Come on, Shout Factory. No. Don't do that. Don't cheap out like that. No. So, what do I start about this film? I really love this film a lot. Though, there's a problem with the ending. But I can explain why it doesn't bother me that much. Even though if there was an alternate universe, I wish they would, the characters. Have you seen the movie? You know what happens to the fate of the characters. I wish, especially, okay, Roddy has his moment, but still, Keith David, the way he went out was just kind of stupid. I don't know. I thought maybe in the commentary they'll explain why his character went out like that. Even Keith David in the interview, he says he wished his character would have had came back, but I mean, that's the movie, that's what happens. But I find it funny that when he talks about how he did the thing and the movie bombed and like that, he didn't get work for 4 years. But what about Platoon, though? Keith David was in Platoon with Charlie Sheen, Oliver Stone production. That was a big movie. Granted, he wasn't, the big star in the movie, but he was part of an ensemble and stuff like that. I'm surprised that he didn't mention Platoon. I guess he had bad memories working on Platoon or something. I don't know. I know he saved Charlie Sheen's life. I know there was a story Charlie Sheen told one time, how they were in a helicopter, in the Army helicopter, and I guess the helicopter had banked a certain way, and Charlie Sheen wasn't strapped in or strapped, and he was sliding out of the helicopter, and Keith David grabbed him and saved his ass, and stuff like that. So, and everything, but I like Keith David as an actor and stuff. I just wish they didn't kill off his character in a really kind of an unfair way. I mean, granted, it was designed to be a shock more, like, oh shit, that's what happened and stuff. But overall, the movie's a very smart film. I mean, Carpenter did this film on his take on the Reagan era, pretty much, how he with the gold makes the rules, and how the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And a little interview there with John Carpenter here, he makes a point, the 80s have not gone. The 80s are still here because that's still what's happening nowadays. The rich are getting richer and the poor are still getting poor. So it works. And you touch about the thing about people being without their homes and stuff. See, John Carpenter did it the smart way. He didn't do it like this and stuff. He did it the right way. That's how you do it with sci-fi and everything like that. Now the original thing behind this story was called 8 o'clock in the morning, which was a short story, I think, which about some guy that he's at a concert and he's hypnotized, and when he wakes up from his hypnosis or something, he realizes it's aliens being taken over the world and stuff. But John Carpenter changed a lot of the stuff out of the story. Like, he eliminated the hypnosis things. He felt that wouldn't work. He wanted to put his own spin on it, and he made it his own and everything like that. And I think there was I don't know if that was a story or a little comic he read called Nada, which he named Roddy Piper's character after, Nada, which nobody, throughout the whole film, I don't think no one even refers to him as a name, which I found it funny. When you look at the end credits, it says Nada on it, which means nothing in Spanish, nothing in English, or whatever. And then they have an old feature of him back in the day, which was nice. They got that. And you actually do hear the full name of the character, John Nada. But throughout the whole movie, no one, I mean, he doesn't even introduce himself as a name, so I found that strange. It's basically, like a nobody. Basically a guy Roddy Piper plays. who comes into the city, Los Angeles. He's a working class homeless guy. He's not just a guy begging for money on the street. He carries his own tools with him. He's a working man. He has to get his hands dirty. He tries to go to unemployment office to get disability or stuff like that, but he's not eligible. So he's in the street and they're like that until he goes to his work site, his construction site there, and he meets this guy who's, I guess, is a foreman. He tells him there's a union job, and he goes, "We don't know if they're hiring." He goes, "Well, maybe please to speak to the shop steward." So he goes in and everything like that. He gets a job working at a construction site. He meets a guy at the site there, Frank, played by Keith David right there, who, when he first meets him, he tells him there's this little place there where you get food, a little place to stay, and everything like that, where he goes. That's kind of like a mission or whatever. So he doesn't say nothing to Keith David about it. And he starts following Keith David. He goes, "I don't like anyone following me." He goes, "But I don't join up with anybody until I see where they're going." So you see, he's a street smart guy. He's not an idiot. So they become friends. They make it out there and they meet Peter Jason. He's an actor who's worked in a lot of John Carpenter films. He's best known for being in Prince of Darkness. He had a small part in Escape from L.A. I think he was also in Ghost of Mars too as well. So Peter Jason, you've seen him in a lot of stuff. And pretty much they go there and you have Buck Flower in there who was in Escape from New York, from the Fog. And he has a small part in Waxwork too. Buck Flower was also in the first Pumpkinhead film as well. And everything like that. Great actor. He's been in everything. If you type him up, Buck Flower, he's been in a lot of stuff. And one thing leads to another. There's a little TV that the people watch who are there. Because basically it's an outdoor place. So it's basically like in a little slums, pretty much. Where they have food and stuff like that there. And then pretty much there's like this message of this guy talking on the TV, talking about, but every time it doesn't come out clear because the TV's like staticky or whatever, about how people are living among us, they doing this, telling you what to do, what to say. It's like propaganda stuff. So that's what people think it is and stuff. Until Nada, right over here, Roddy Piper, he gets suspicious about some stuff. And even Raymond St. Jacques, I think, who's no longer with us, who plays this blind street preacher and stuff, who's with Peter Jason and other people and this little group there who are up to something there. And Roddy Piper's curious, like, what are these guys doing in there? They're in this little church with this gospel music playing, but it's not really a gospel, it's a radio. There's some very strange stuff going on there. So he spies on them. One thing leads to another. And in the middle of the night, there's a police raid. Out of nowhere on these poor defensive people. Like they're cleaning up a block or something. Like riot gear and everything. And everything like that. And the guys who were in charge of that little warehouse there with Peter Jason and the blind preacher guy, Raymond St. Jacques, gets beaten up badly by the cops. Until next morning pass, Roddy Piper goes to the little church where he sees a box of stuff. He figures maybe it's drugs or something worth money or something. What's all this shit about? Why the cops came in there and just ran people off their area and just fucked everything up for no reason and shit. So what happens is then pretty much he takes the box out of the area there. And he goes into an alleyway somewhere. He sees a box full of fucking sunglasses. And he's like, but what? He takes one pair of the glasses, puts the rest in the garbage can somewhere, and goes out on the street. And you get a very good scene, which Roddy Piper, this was his big movie he made. And at the time, Roddy Piper, of course, was one of the biggest wrestlers in the WWF, when the WWF was WWF. He was one of the big names next to Roddy Piper and Junkyard Dog and a lot of the wrestlers, Andre the Giant, all the legends, all the best, pretty much. And when he came on to do this film and like that, Vince McMahon was in the early stages of controlling WWF. His father, I think, had passed away. Vince McMahon Sr. He was one of the Vince McMahon Sr. was one of the guys, the main people who made the Wrestling Federation what it is, pretty much. And McMahon made it grow more than what it is. But you hear stuff about how McMahon was very egotistical with his wrestlers and stuff like that. All this backstories I've heard about him and stuff. And he did not want Roddy Piper to do this film because he goes, oh, I can get you a movie with the same price, with this and that. But Roddy Piper goes, but not with John Carpenter, you're not. So he kind of went against McMahon and did it on his own reconnaissance. And then McMahon and Hogan being kind of judged that Roddy Piper was stealing his thunder. We can make movies, we can do this, and he did no holds barred. And you guys know how good that turned out. Suburban Commando, I could watch it as a time waster and stuff like that. It's a fun movie, silly movie at most. Mr. Nanny, another silly movie and stuff. But everything else Hulk Hogan did, nothing compared to what Roddy Piper achieved with this film. I think a little bit before this, he had done Hell Comes to Frogtown, which that's a decent one, not too shabby. It's not as good as this one, but it's watchable at most. Roddy Piper makes it fun for what it has to be. That was one he did through New World Pictures, I think. Stuff like that. But Roddy Piper doesn't talk much about those films. He holds this one in very, very high regard. And everything like that. So when the movie came out, it was #1 for 2 weeks in a row until out of nowhere, after 2 weeks, it just came and went, disappeared. I like what Keith David said on the interview, when he interviewed him, that, and the little thing that how Keith David did. This movie must have pissed somebody off, because, talking about Reaganomics and all that stuff like that. It must have pissed somebody off how it dropped out of the top thing, how it was #1 for 2 weeks in a row, all of a sudden, it dropped out. And this came out the fall of '88. I don't know what movie this went up against. Remember, 1988 was a good year for movies, man. Think about it. And this is more like sci-fi action movie. A little bit of political thing, but it's doing it gently. It's not this. The border. But I love doing that. Just give it shit. But this is how you do it the right way, though. Really. And stuff. So, Roddy Piper caught a lot of flack. Like, when he came back to wrestling after he did this film and like that. The other wrestlers kind of looked down on him and kind of talk shit about him and stuff like that. He got so much flack. But, the fans loved the film a lot. People loved the movie. He was very good in the film for what he had to do and stuff. The reason I think Roddy Piper worked to me as an actor, and I agree with Matt. I know Matt just did a DVD review of this movie. I think he viewed the movie before. That Roddy Piper, when he acts in a film, he's not playing Roddy Piper. You touch on a little bit of the wild man stuff, a little bit of that, and everything like that. Like the famous line from this film, Roddy Piper came up with that. And I was waiting for him to touch on the commentary, how Duke Nukem ripped off that dialogue, And I wonder if Roddy Piper gets a check for that, Whatever. I don't know if he does or what. But they didn't touch on it in the commentary. I was kind of waiting for it and stuff, but they didn't do it. And everything. But basically what happens is he puts on the glasses and he starts seeing everything in black and white. You see like very subliminal messages. Like he looks at a billboard, it says obey on it. Takes it off, he's like, what? He puts it back on, it says obey. He looks at a billboard of a woman in a bikini. Right? He puts it on, he goes, to marry and reproduce. Very weird shit. And he goes to the newsstand. He sees the magazines. They have some white paper inside, black and white. It says some stuff about, TV shows, no imagination, all that stuff like that. Until he sees one of these fucking people right here, man. It looks very creepy. I don't know what looks more scary, in color or black and white. It looks more scary in color for some reason. Very creepy, like, ugh. And shit. And all those guys you see in the movie with that makeup is Jeff Amata, which I never knew that. And stuff. All of them. You see, even the people, women just, is Jeff Amata. And everything. And very, very good. He wanders into a store. He's just looking around at people, more aliens and these people and stuff like that. I refer to them as ghouls. And he sees an old one, like an old lady. He goes, you know what? You look like you dipped your hair back. You look like you dipped your head in cheese dip back in 1957. You're okay. You really fucking ugly. He goes, well, I never. Well, yeah, you formaldehyde face. So he says all this thing like that, and then he walks around. See everybody like this talking through their watch. Around, he goes, I don't like this one bit, and he gets the fuck out of there and stuff. And then these two cops come out of nowhere and push him into this alleyway and shit. He goes, look, how you know you don't look like shit to us? I mean, sometimes he says, well, how you know how you look to us like shit? He goes, impossible. You work better if we didn't have to splatter your brains. You're stumbling on something over here. He does it very good. I mean, I think he really hurt these stuntmen. We talk about it in the commentary. He did a clothesline on the fucking guy, punches the guy out, grabs a gun, shoots one of the aliens. He goes, you bastards die just like we do. Then boom, shoots another guy. Grabs a shotgun with his glasses. Walks into the bank. I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. And starts going to town. Some of the aliens fucking them up. And everything like that. And then he makes it outside. And you see that little weird device looking down on him and shit. He goes, and who are you? Oh no, before that, he sees one of the aliens in the bank talking through the watch and everything like that. Well, he's a male, 30s, and they said, Mama don't like tattletales. About to shoot on something, he blows the fuck up. And shit. There's another film me and my uncle love a lot. They Live, even though it has that ending. It's a lot of fun, this movie. Another movie. Ironically enough, he had this in his VHS collection. He's copied this off cable along with Aliens and other movies and stuff. Very, very great. He blows up the little flying saucer thing. So you come to show me, you come tell me where I'm at, huh? Not nice. Blows the motherfucker in pieces up. I always laugh at this because it sounds silly, though. They touch on it in the commentary. Like, he sees one guy, look like he's a human, because you can see who's human or not. The glasses, drop it! Yeah. He tells the policeman to drop the gun. And then he goes, beat your feet. And then runs away. But I know in the commentary, Roddy Piper says the actor didn't know what that slang meant, beat your feet. And he's just running in place. And Roddy Piper started laughing, no, it means run away. When I first heard that, I thought we went by beat your feet. I thought it would be kind of weird. Like, Roddy Piper said, beat your meat. I'm like, what? The fuck, you want me to shoot me? Ah, don't shoot me. That's not the case. And he ends up in this garage. We meet Meg Foster, yes, the bitch with the crazy eyes, you know, and who plays Holly Thompson. Puts her at gunpoint, pretty much to take her he makes her take him to her place out in Hollywood Hills and stuff like that. He tries to tell her to look through the glasses, tell her what's going on, but of course it sounds crazy and like that. Until she tells him that she's part of this TV, she's a producer or something at this TV station. Or what if he tries to get the idea to call the TV station, and she whacks him right with the fucking bottle. Very dangerous stunt. Wow. Out the window into the fucking hills going downwards and shit. And then she calls for help, and then he walks away all beaten and stuff, falling off the damn out the window and shit. He spends the night somewhere. He tries to go back. First, he tries to go to go see Keith David at the work site. And then he says, "Look, get out of here. I don't want to get involved with you. How many people you killing anyway? Not people. Oh man, you fucking crazy. Get away from me. Leave me alone. I got a wife and kids back in Detroit. Leave me alone." So Keith David don't know what to do with him. Right? Because the circumstances not present in front of him. So he tries to go back to the alleyway where he stashed the rest of the sunglasses because he lost the other pair of glasses when Crazy Eyes bitch knocked them out the window and shit. And he sees that the garbage guys took it. He tries to grab it. He gets out of the garbage truck. And then you get to a very fun fight scene, which I want to show you guys because I honestly feel showing it, I think it'll be better than me explaining it. And I will say that Roddy Piper and Keith David, along with Jeff Amata, they worked very hard on the fight scene. And it shows very, very, very much. Let me see, is it a longer one? It is a longer one here. It's referred to as the best fight ever, which I agree it is. And get your cameras ready and bootleg theater positions, folks, for one of the best fight scenes that goes in the history books. This should be one of the ultimate fights. Hopefully it doesn't freeze up now.
Yo, 1 week's pay. It's the best I can do. Wait! Hey! You better find yourself someplace to hide and keep praying nobody ever finds you. Try these on. Look, you crazy mother. Put these on. Hey! Stay away from me. I'm telling you, you dumb son of a...
Fortunately, the audio is delayed on this, so let me see if I can find another one. Hold on 1 second, please.
I'm trying to...
Let me see if it's... I'll go with this one here.
Yo. 1 week's pay.
Fortunately, the quality don't look too good on these clips here.
Wait! Hey! You better find yourself someplace to hide and keep...
At least the audio's in better sync.
Try these on. Look, you crazy mother. Put these on. Hey! Stay away from me. I'm telling you, you dumb son of a... I'm trying to save you and your family's life. You couldn't even save your own! I'm giving you a choice. Either put on these glasses or start eating that trash can.
Not this year.
Okay. All right. Okay. Come on. Come on. I don't want to fight you. Come on. I don't want to fight you. Stop it. No. Put on the glasses. Man, I told you I didn't want to be in. You dirty motherfucker.
I love that trick.
Take a look. Put them on. No!
That's our friendship, huh, guys? Rapid kick to the nuts. Not over yet. Oh, that's it.
Look! Look at them! They're everywhere! Now hold on. You ain't the first son of a bitch to wake up out of their dream. Listen. Brother, life's a bitch. She's back in heat.
And there you go, that great fight. There you go. Classic fight scene, man. I don't know if this is... I think this is the Q&A for that. I seen it right here. Somebody put it up, a 24-minute one. Maybe I'll put it in my bookmark. That's the right one. Let's see. Just with Roddy Piper alone, I guess. I think there's one... What was it, panel discussion here? I know there's one that Matt was talking about that actually has Keith David along with a couple of the other cast members and stuff. But this movie, I mean, basically after that whole big classic fight there, which Keith David and Roddy Piper along with Jeff Amado together worked very hard on and everything like that. It shows real world. The choreography is great and everything like that. And they end up all beat up. Both of them all beat up, walking down street with the sunglasses now. And they go to the motel. I like how the clerk in the motel just looks at both of them, and Keith David just says, "I would like a room." And just gives them things to sign. And they go up there. And first thing they do when they go to the motel room, Roddy Piper sees off his sunglasses. He goes, "Ain't love grand?" And then Keith David looks out the window. He goes, "Don't get those glasses too long. I feel like a knife turning in your skull." Because how long have they been out there? I don't know. But where'd they come from? I want this shit. They're not from Cleveland. Hey, I don't need that shit, man. What the fuck is going on? What's this and that? He goes, "Look, man. Well, you gotta wait. Wait for what?" And he goes, "When you go to the master plan, you let me know." And you see Roddy Piper all fucked up and everything like that. And then they figure they're gonna sit back and wait to see if they can get in touch with people who made those glasses, which is Peter Jason and his company. And you got a great scene there where now that Roddy Piper's character is discussing something about his past, about his childhood, which I think was a very hard scene for Roddy Piper to film because it's something that dove a little bit to his personal past and whatever, about how his father had beaten him at a young age and stuff and almost tried to kill him and everything like that. How he ran away from home when he was 13 and stuff. How he was living on the streets. I like the whole thing about, well, there's going to be hell to pay because I ain't daddy's little boy anymore. So I kind of like that little monologue he gives. And Keith David goes out shopping for some groceries with her and bumps into Peter Jason. And they tell him to Roddy Piper where to meet up with the rest of the people who got away with their lives when the police came over there. The rest of the people who made those sunglasses. They go in there and basically hear a plan about they have to get to this signal, which is pulling the wool over everybody's eyes because the aliens are hiding among us through this satellite, which is blocking the reality so nobody could see who they really are in the subliminal messages unless you have those glasses and stuff. So they want to make a plan for that. And what happens is Meg Foster finds out where the place is at, and she tells Roddy Piper she didn't know what happened. She thought she killed him. He goes, I thought so too. Where he says it. And next thing you know, a big explosion comes and the police come in and start shooting everybody. Because what it is, the aliens, they're masquerading as powerful people, politicians and stuff like that. And some of the humans that are with them, some of them, they might know they're aliens. They're just doing it just to get by because they help them live the good life or whatever, stuff like that. Once again, the Reagan era comes into play. But it's not done like this. It's done in a respectable way. And the police, some authorities are led to believe that Peter Jason and his group are a bunch of communists or whatever, or terrorism or something. So they come in there and they wipe out everybody, killing all the people in the room. Keith David and Roddy Piper get out barely alive. Peter Jason gets fucked up. And leads to a good shootout in the alleyway where Roddy Piper's with the machine gun shooting out all the fucking alien cops or whatever and stuff. Or people, regular cops are trying to kill him, take his life and everything like that. And during the time, I guess one of the resistance people give Keith David, Frank, this watch, which is taken off one of the aliens that watch they communicate with or whatever. Then all of a sudden they hit something, all of a sudden, boom, it blows up and stuff. And great scene there where he's trying to figure out the watch. In the middle of the firefight, he goes, Frank, what? Frank, what? Oh, shit. Then throws the watch. You see here, poof. You see a big-ass hole in the floor. The watch malfunctions. And they run through there, jump through the hole. Roddy Piper taking a cup down with him. Shoots everybody there. Jumps down to the hole. They end up somewhere, I guess underneath the city. That's where the aliens or whatever are pretty much there and everything like that. And there they meet Buck Flower, of course. They realize Buck Flower had sold out pretty much to live the good life and shit. He sold out his own kind and stuff like that. And they're not wearing the sunglasses no more. Now they got these new contact lenses they put on so you can see who's human and who's not. And they realize that the TV station's underneath this area right here where you got the aliens controlling that. And it turns out in that roof of that TV station is where that big satellite's at that's jamming the signal, that's putting the wool over everybody's eyes, that's hiding the aliens and stuff. And they can break that signal and let everybody know an invasion's happening. Then, then we could fight for our freedom back and stuff. And then, it would clear, Peter Jason, everybody's name who died trying to get this message out and stuff. So they grab Buck Flower, his beard. He escapes with his bullshit little watch. Poof, disappears. And they're basically working their way up to building of the network and stuff. Fucking up aliens along the way with the M16s. Great score that pops up there. And everything like that. And he's looking for Holly Thompson, Meg Foster's character. He thinks that she's in trouble. She's in that station there. And about to go to the roof. Roddy Piper makes it up to the roof. And of course, out of nowhere, we find out Meg Foster, you know, is a bitch pretty much. Like she plays all these movies and stuff and everything. And randomly, most of the movies you see her in, she plays a bitch. With exception to Stepfather 2. And of course, Evil Lynn, that she's a bitch. And of course, Leviathan, she's a bitch, but she gets knocked the fuck out, man. That's pretty much it. By Peter Weller and stuff. Better. A lot better. I had to review that sometime. I like Leviathan. So, Keith David gets cheated out of his moment, pretty much. He's about to cover Roddy Piper, and also out of nowhere, Mary Foster comes with a gun. Boom! There's a big white flash. You see, you don't see brains pop out, nothing. He gets killed. And then, Nada, Roddy Piper's character, has the Desert Eagle. He's about to point out the satellite. He goes, Frank, are you Holly clear? And then you hear, I'm clear. And then she turns around and she tells him you don't do it. You can't win. And stuff. Just come inside with me. And he's a bit hurt by it because, you know, he was trying to, you know, go through all that trouble to get to her, to get her safe and everything. He's been betrayed. Plus, his friend is being killed by her and everything. And at the same time, there's a helicopter there that's telling him to drop his gun. He's surrounded. Drops his Desert Eagle. And he has a gun up his sleeve. Pulls out the gun, shoots her fucking ass, and then aims at the satellite, and he just goes, fuck it. And shoots the satellite. Pa, pa, pa. But he gets shot. But I'm going to tell you why this don't get me mad. He falls to the floor. He sees the satellite's broken. And then, like, whatever, the signal's already gone out. And what does he do? He goes. And then you see a very fun sequence there where it's a TV, somebody giving lectures about violence in movies. So George Romero and John Carpenter. And he sees alien face. And you see the guy in the bar looking up, and everybody's looking at the bar. So what the fuck is this guy here? And everything like that. The news lady all of a sudden he goes, you look like shit. Oh my God, what's going on? What happened? And then, very fun last shot is where we see a commercial of some guy picking up a girl, and he gets smacked in the face. Realizes it's the alien, and then you see this topless white girl, blonde girl, riding this guy, and all of a sudden she looks down. And he's like, "What's wrong, baby?" It's actually Jeff Amata in that makeup in that scene. And so then the movie finishes with that wake up score you hear there. Now the reason it doesn't bother me what happens to Roddy Piper that much is because, as optimistic as I am, even though people will disagree with me, I didn't necessarily see him go. I didn't see him go like that. I see him on the floor. He's shot. He's going like this. It's a weak finger. I know Roddy Piper makes fun of that. He goes, I wish it was more of a fuller finger. And then John Carpenter says, but you've been shot. You know, but still, I'm critical of my thing. It should have been a full finger and stuff. And everything like that. I wonder if John Carpenter might have read that book by Richard Bachman, Stephen King, you know, Running Man, how the movie ended with the guy putting the helicopter to a building and then giving the middle finger. If that had to do with that or what, I don't know, and stuff. But look at this way. I didn't see him keel over and go like that. You know, he was still eyes open, and he has smiles going like this. Maybe the bullet passed him. You never know. Who knows? But I know John Carpenter, everybody goes, Roddy Piper says, the character died. It's like the Alamo, you know, and stuff like that. Sad ending was like that. But the charm, the badassness to it, you know, he had his heroic moment. At least he went down, taking out the bad guys. And now the signal has broken. The word is out on these aliens now, and their plans out the window now. So World War III has started pretty much. Humanity versus them, which I would love to see in a follow-up story to this. But of course, I don't think that happened. The movie's budget was only $4 million, and it was one of those independent movies John Carpenter did with Alive Films, which I think Prince of Darkness was an independent film right after he did before this movie, and everything like that. And these are little movies he did on his own, his own reconnaissance, that he could control the film, the outcome, and do what he wants to do with it without studio interference and stuff. And it's a very, very good movie. Very great film. I'm happy to own the DVD. Though I kind of wish the features were a little bit better, but at least it got features. Unlike what Universal did the first time when they released it. they didn't give no features to. At least Shout Factory gave it a badass cover, which I love. Which I wanted the fucking poster, which they didn't give me for free, which sucks. Oh my god. And I wish they would have got a new interview with Roddy Piper. With the movie would be nice. Keith David's interview, I wish it was a bit longer, but still it was nice to hear from Keith David, especially when he talks about how he worked on the thing, and he has a funny story behind that, and how he filmed his fight scene with Roddy Piper, and how Roddy Piper and him got very close in the making of the film and stuff. And John Carpenter holds his movie in high regard because there's about the things he talked about the film with Roddy Piper. You see like very John Carpenter seems like a very nice guy, really. I mean, that's one guy I would love to meet one day, but I know he probably charge an arm and leg for an autograph, but maybe not him, but the place he'll be at will charge. Yeah, like that. But very good film. I feel the movie's not dated. This movie still holds up. I know there's talks about a remake of this film. Leave it alone, please. I don't think you're going to do a movie as good as this. And I have a feeling if they do it, watch it be more downbeat than this ending. I have a feeling. See, at least this, he took out the aliens. I have a feeling if they did this today, it would be, he would get killed before he even gets a shot off by that satellite. Pretty much. And then then that ending will piss me off, though. But this has just so much going for it, though. You know, it's an action film. It's not a long film. The runtime for the film is about... Did they show the fucking runtime? 93 minutes. 93 minutes, pretty much. So it's not a long movie at all. It moves at a good pace. Very entertaining. Good score. John Carpenter's direction is very well done. I like the little subtext in here about the Reagan era and stuff like that. Very good stuff. Roddy Piper is great in his big theatric debut. Very good. He's done other films that have been fun as well, like in Mortal Kombat. I enjoyed him in. There's one he did with Billy Blank's Tough and Deadly. It was a lot of fun as well. I even liked that little TV movie that was supposed to be a pilot with him and Jesse Ventura called Tag Team, which is on YouTube, I believe, and stuff like that, which never made DVD format. See, I would have loved to see that turn into a TV series. I don't know why people say it was that bad. I mean, I thought it was entertaining at most. Maybe with more episodes, it could have shaped itself to be a good show. Who knows? A fun one. Basically, with Roddy Piper and Jesse Ventura playing these wrestlers, ex-wrestlers, turned policemen. A lot of fun ensues from there and stuff. But this movie's a lot of fun. I'm glad that Shout Factory did something. I'm glad the features ain't all that. But I'm glad that they carried over that commentary track from the Region 2 DVDs. It's a very fun commentary track. I like that they put back the TV spots. Which I remember catching this film. I remember seeing those TV spots. It says They. And then they got that. It says They Live. Which looked very epic. And then I saw this on home video at a young age. I enjoyed it a lot. Still a lot of fun. Even when they gave it on cable, my uncle copied it from cable. It's still a lot of fun. Even though you had that downbeat ending. But he took those bastards down with him, though, which I liked that. But I didn't like pretty much what happened to Keith David's character, though, because it's kind of like out of nowhere. Like, he didn't even get a stand-up fight. It's more like, oh shit, boom, that was it. And I know that whole point was supposed to be as a shocker, pretty much, which I guess it did and stuff. But decent features, not bad. Could be better though. I mean, it'd be better if they would have put that Q&A on here, as they promised. I would have had that fucking poster they promised as well. And a longer interview with John Carpenter would have been a little more better. It seemed like it's not that much of an interview with him. The Keith David interview was a lot more better, to be honest. The making of back in the day, that was nice that they put that back in here. At least there you have interviews with Roddy Piper on the set of the film and like that. And everything. All else, very good movie. I enjoyed it a lot. And you guys haven't got this DVD, I would say get it, because the commentary is a lot of fun. And the little features on there are decent. Pretty good. Not bad at all. I mean, it could have been a little bit longer, but it's worth to have it in this collection. Plus, it has that option where you pull off the case and you can have the original cover, original poster, or you can just flip it around and make it like the way this one looks. But I always like that option, though. Like on Halloween 2, I have that as well, where I pull off the case I turn the thing inside out, and it's the original poster. And if I want the other coaster, I just do this. Bam, right there. See, that looks badass. I wanted that fucking poster. Fuck them for not sending it to me. But rating for the film and long shot is really 10 out of 10. In all honesty, I think it's a classic John Carpenter film, in my humble opinion. So I don't know when this will be uploaded, because before this, you'll probably see a DVD update where I meshed the update. I got this in the mail along with the other stuff I ordered and everything like that. Then I throw this in there. You'll probably see another random review after this and stuff. Remember, I'm not sticking to no pattern, folks. I did a whole horror zone. By the way, have anyone seen the damn review of Blair Witch Project besides Matt? I sent it to everybody. So please, hope you check that out, please. Like that. But thank you all for tuning in, reading for this 10 out of 10. You all have a very good night. Later.